quickly go to cricket. Nigeria Cricket Federation, they have a new technical advisor. I mean, also high-performance manager. Means having all of them. Asaka Gurushima. So he has revealed that, well, what's going to happen is Nigeria has a whole lot of talent, enormous talent, but they have to, you know, do a whole lot. I mean, put in the works to become world beaters because the talents are there. But harness this talent, ensure that you create a good community and be able to, you know, contest, you know, at the world levels.
Mrs. Celia, this is one of those situations, one of those news that you're like, really? Like Nigeria's
Sri Lanka.
a former Sri Lankan batsman who won the World Cup in 1996, played a very prominent role in that victory. He's actually the new coach of the Nigerian national team. Apart from that, he's also going to be serving as a high-performance director, as well as helping to train local coaches as well. Too. It's a
whole lot.
Massive coup for the NCF. I never saw this coming at all, and they had to do this because it's only right they consolidate on their recent successes, especially in the last 1.5 years. You saw Nigeria go to the Under-19 World Cup. Was a decent performance. They also played at the 2019 T20 World Cup qualifiers. The women's team played a World Cup qualifier in Zimbabwe last year as well too. So it's time to consolidate on that. Aim higher. And that's why they've made this fantastic move to get this guy, a World Cup winner, to coach and help develop cricket in the country. And we're seeing pictures from his unveiling yesterday in Abuja. And it's had very, very interesting things to say about how he intends to take Nigerian cricket to the next level.
I think I'm very lucky because I experienced similar, most probably the start of my cricket career. When it's like some of the grounds we played, the facilities we had was very similar. Even when I was first playing for Sri Lanka, I did travel by public transport. So I have gone through that part and I realized how tough it is, but it was the commitment of our players. And then we changed Sri Lanka's world cricket by winning a World Cup in 1996. So that experience, and especially working last 3 years with Sri Lanka cricket, so I had the experience of understanding the current players' minds, how they play, how the oppositions play, and players think in an environment like this. So I think I can mix both together, and I'm really hoping and working hard to get the best out of these guys to achieve the Nigerian Cricket Federation goals. I'm actually going to meet all the players after this, and I haven't met them other than a few players, as I mentioned, on a Zoom call. So I'll discuss with them, and the next 6-7 days we'll be playing some games, and I'll be actually watching them for the first time. And then we'll sit down with the selectors and look at our planning ahead, because without seeing these players, it's very difficult to put some plans together and say this is where we are heading. But I think President touched something which is very close to me as well, which is the fitness and fielding side. Those two are two areas that we can all control very easily. It's not opposition controlling that, we can control that. And it's very important, especially T20 cricket. It is tough. People think it's 20 overs, it's 40 overs, finished in 3 hours. Players are very, very tired, and if you're not fit, it's very difficult to get through those games, and playing 5-6 games within 10 days in ICC tournament is not easy.
Yeah, we know that about 32 coaches actually applied for that position, but he was the most qualified, of course. He got many things to say. Okay, let's leave cricket and quickly go to...
Exciting times.
Exciting times when it comes to other sports and all that. Cricket, basketball, basketball internationally, and then we're doing so much. And handball, volleyball, these guys are all just doing a whole lot when it comes to other sports.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, very impressed. I'm happy you're impressed.
Yeah, let's go on.
All right, talk about the Flying Eagles of Nigeria and, of course, what they will be up to today against Ghana. And that game, they need to win it to be able to get into the semi-finals. It was another draw, but they have to win. I don't know what's going to happen. But then Flying Eagles will want to not even qualify for the the main tournament,
Yeah.
the under 20 Africa Cup of Nations. So they need to get away from this one and get to semi-finals at least, be able to speak a sport for that. So it's Nigeria and Ghana tonight.
Nigeria is always tough at whatever level. So expect nothing different later today in Port Novo, where Nigeria will take on Ghana. And unfortunately, they lost. Wasn't it?
No, it was a draw against Cote d'Ivoire. Yeah, because Chris Wenze,
until they considered
that late goal. So that was after Chris Wenze, who scored, was given the red card and all that. He scored that goal 61st minute. Of course, the Ivorian had to, they got back into the game and all after he was sent off, and which was really dropping 2 points. So Wenze will not be part of this encounter, of course. He was sent off. But then Coach Lana Bosso is expecting that, well, they've got the chances, they've learned their lessons, so they'll need to work hard and work better to be able to get that victory. So they want to pick up all 3 points. And, of course, they know that they'll have to control the game and remain focused. And the target is just to, win the remaining games and, of course, if possible, win the tournament. And, of course, if possible, go ahead to the CAF Under-20 Cup of Nations in Mauritania. And also win it. I'm talking too much right now.
Yeah, but I'm glad you know that. All the best to the Flying Eagles. Hopefully they can get the job done against the Starlets of Ghana later today. Let's move on from the Flying Eagles and come back home and talk about, it's not exactly the National Sports Festival, but the stadium, the main stadium for the competition. Now that, it's still January 3rd officially, but it depends on if that date sticks, but what's going to happen afterwards and what's going to happen prior. And we know our issues in the country when it comes to facility management. And that's why a lot of people are worried. This fantastic stadium, Samuel Ogbemude Stadium, what's going to happen to it? Are they going to maintain it properly? 2-3 years down the line, is it not going to be, totally looking out of place? But the Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, has come out today to assure everyone that they're taking all the right steps, all the necessary steps to ensure proper management of this facility.
There's going to be an agency that is already been it's on the bill before the House to manage this facility, because there's no way we can leave these facilities in the hands of these people, and you expect that they'll be able to take care of it. You can see, just to fix equipment, we are already seeing what the facility will look like if we don't take charge. The governor is clear about this stadium. This stadium is world class, and in facility management will be world class. We are quite aware that we will not return. We can return back to what it used to be if we allow these people to handle the facility the way it used to. And you can see the gymnastics. Those facilities that you see in the gymnastics, they are in West Africa. These are the latest gymnastic equipment, and all the sport in gymnastics are there. You see the way they just dump them in a place like garbage. So that is the mentality that they are used to, and that mentality is what we want to change.
There you go there. I mean, it's good to, he's saying the right things, but that's not enough. We need to see action, and he's talked about an agency that is going to be in charge of, managing this very, very lovely facility in Benin. And hopefully that's the case, because, in these spots, do a lot of talking.
Of course. Maintenance is key, right? You can build a very wonderful, beautiful, world-class facilities, but if you do not maintain it, it's going to be a problem. Abuja National Stadium is a case
let's move on and talk about
Football League is back, right? Okay, football is back in Nigeria. Not just football, but the league and the women are actually, taking the forefront, which is a good one. We'll be joined this morning by the CEO of the Nigerian Women's Football League, Faith Ben. She'll be talking to us, about the league, how it's starting, the journey of the 26 weeks, 182 games is starting today, seven centers across Nigeria. And, of course, the big one today is Nasarawa Amazons and, of course, FC Robo. That will be in Lafayette in Nasarawa State, where you're going to be having the sports minister, the Minister for Women's Affairs, all of them, they're going to be there to witness that game. Good morning. It's good to have you join us this morning.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fantastic. Thank you. We're all happy that World League football is back in Nigeria. And, of course, the NWFL is taking the lead in this one. How is today going to be looking like?
It's going to be beautiful. Like the sun is out already. It's going to be beautiful and very competitive across the state today.
Okay, interesting. I know the resumption of the league, of course, 14 clubs are the ones that fulfill the requirements and all that. Now, these 14 clubs, I mean, the fulfillment, was it in total or we still have some things pending?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Okay, what I mean is you have 14 clubs that have registered, right? I mean, the last time the release came from NWFL was that some clubs had some things to actually conclude, but they were accepted because they said,
yes,
they will conclude that. Were they able to meet up with that, or they're just there based on the fact that they tried to meet all the requirements needed for the licensing?
Many of them were able to meet up with the licensing, and only like just one of them we made to maybe to submit a letter of commitment to do some certain things.
Interesting. And with all these clubs having cleared licensing protocols, is it safe to say we won't be having issues of players being owed salaries like we've had in the past?
I didn't hear you quite well. You know, the place is busy.
All right, so I'm saying all these teams, like you said, 13 out of 14, they've all cleared licensing protocols. So going forward, is it safe to say there won't be issues of players being owed salaries like we've had in the past?
Oh, we will make that a priority. My board, the NWFL board, is making the players' welfare a priority, because that is the area FIFA and CAF is looking at now. So we want to make that one also our priority to ensure that if players were owned in the past, now we enforce the regulations to ensure that clubs meet up with their responsibilities of taking care of their players' welfare.
Interesting. That's very, very important going forward if we want to keep developing women's football in the country. Faith, kindly hold on for a minute. We need to go on this break. When we'll come back, we'll continue our conversation on the kickoff of the Nigerian Women's Premier League. You're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. We're still talking about the return of the Nigerian Women's Professional Football League. The Premiership is back after a long hiatus, and match day one fixtures, very interesting matchups to look forward to. Unfortunately, we still can't go to the stadiums, but you can stay with us for all the updates on all these games. There you go, match day one fixtures. Nasarawa Amazons taking on FC Robo. Bayelsa Queens versus Sunshine Queens. There's also Conference Queens taking on Rivers Angels. Delta Queens, Dream Star Ladies of Lagos State. Abia Angels will take on Pelican Stars, while Osun Babes will be trading tackles against Ibom Angels. Like we said, all these games will be played across 7 centers: Lafia, Humaya, Uyo, Agbo, Lokoja, Benin, and Yenegua.
Yeah.
Cecilia.
Yeah, that's how it is. We still have Faith with us, talking about the starting of the league. But then we know how difficult it can be to get money and all that. Yeah. We know some funds actually came from FIFA. But from the Sports Ministry and the Nigerian Football Federation, did you guys actually receive any support from them to be able to start the league, knowing that even the LMC have not even released a date for the start of the NPFL?
Thank you, Cecilia. We actually received the usual support. We have received the usual support financially, and we have gotten the match officials from the federation.
Okay.
Yeah, financial support.
Yeah, financial support, to kickstart the league season and all that. We know how expensive it can be, paying referees and all those stuff.
Especially, maybe you can give us an update as well, too. Because I remember during the rebranding and the relaunching of the league. Of course, you guys appealed and for a sponsor, a title sponsor, or perhaps any other partners for that matter. What's the update on that?
Hello?
Faith?
Please, I didn't hear you.
Okay, so we're talking about the financial support. Cecilia has asked about whether you're getting like a grant, like a takeoff grant from the NFF to start this league like we've seen in other countries. Morocco has just started their own, launched their women's league yesterday. They received a lot of money from the Federation, South Africa as well, to a couple of years ago. Is that the case in Nigeria? Have you received any support financially from the NFF? And also in terms of sponsorship, are we going into the season without a title sponsor or any other partners for that matter?
Okay. For the financial support, we have received the FIFA restart operational cost from the Nigeria Football Federation.
Okay.
And we have received every other moral support from the NFF in terms of officials and organization.
Okay.
And for the potential for the sponsorship, right now we've been talking to some sponsors, and the UN collaboration is a result of our talks with some major sponsors.
Wow.
And
okay.
you know that, yes, you know that this is our opening match. We are using it to promote the Safe Home campaign of the UN Women on gender violence against women and girls.
All right.
So we know that when we are able to beam this match live and across the state and on the social medias, you know, we will be able to attract more sponsors to the Women League.
Okay, interesting. I mean, you just mentioned that was going to be my next question concerning violence, campaign on gender-based violence against women and girls, in Nigeria, using the league, as a kind of a campaign, to do that. Now, how can the board really protect players, who have actually suffered any form of abuse?
You know that we have regulations. If players cry to the NWFL, we know who is abused and who is not abused. But when we get to know that player is mistreated or a player is denied protection or welfare, the law will take its place.
Okay. I'm happy about that. Okay, thank you so much for taking our time to join us this morning. Yes. We know how busy you people are this morning trying to organize the campaign, against gender-based violence against women and girls, in Nigeria, especially starting with the league that is beginning today in Lafia.
Cecilia, it's so good to speak with you this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, well, it's a good one. The Women's League is back, Tayo, so we are all happy that it is back and 7 games across centers. Okay.
Yeah, I am happy, definitely. Yeah. I'll be happier, though, if we had a sponsor in place already.
Yeah, and she talked about them streaming this particular game, which is the big game, more like,
important.
It's important so that people can actually see what the board is trying to do.
If you're trying to promote a brand, market it, visibility is very important.
It's key, and that's what they're trying to do.
Hopefully they can get that on.
Yeah.
Let's stream it. Anyways, let's move on with the show. Let's talk about the UEFA Champions League.
Yes.
Match day 6, final match day yesterday across Europe. And let's give you the results, first of all, before our guest, Omar Katba, joins us to do a comprehensive review. In Group E, Chelsea, Krasnodar, 1-0. Rennes versus Sevilla, 3-1. Those two teams already advanced to the round of 16 prior to yesterday's game. In Group F, Lazio 2-0 against Club Brugge. That's enough to see the Rome side advance into the round of 16. Dortmund 2-1 over Zenit in Russia. That match saw a record for Moukoko. He's now the youngest player to play in the UEFA Champions League, now breaking the record of Celestin Babayaro all those years ago. That stood for 26 years. In Group G, Juve and Barcelona was 3-0 for the old lady. Ronaldo returning to the Nou Camp and scoring twice. And Dynamo Kiev 1-0 over Ferencvaros. And in Group H, that's the drama group. Leipzig 3-2 over Manchester United to advance into the round of 16. United dropping into the Europa League. And PSG Istanbul, that match was abandoned because of alleged racist remarks coming from the fourth official. Omar Kadugba, good morning. Omar, good morning. What's up? Thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah. Yes, good morning. Great to be on the show this morning.
Yeah, always great to have you, Omar. Let's just cut to the chase and start with the match of the night. That was in Germany. Interestingly, that's where you're based. Leipzig defeating Manchester United to advance to the round of 16. United went into that game knowing a draw was going to be enough to see them go through to the next stage. And what do? They conceded 2 goals in 12 minutes. They were down 3-0. And from then on, it was an uphill task.
Yes, it was a very interesting game, a game that turned out as expected. I tweeted last week that it will be a fight to finish in Leipzig, and that's exactly what we saw. It went down to the last minute. United, knowing that they needed a draw, didn't really show the kind of attitude that was expected of them. They were sloppy at the start, and Leipzig took advantage. Fantastic goal. 2 minutes into the game, that is the kind of intention you show when you need something. Leipzig needed a win because a draw would have put them in a very difficult position. And they went straight for it. Fantastic goal by Angelino. And they made it 2 in less than 15 minutes. And that's, like I said, is the kind of intention you need to show. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said it. They weren't good enough. They didn't start fighting early enough. Yes, they scored 2 goals, a penalty, and then the pop-up goal. But that wasn't enough. And RB Leipzig continues, to punch English teams. Last season it was Tottenham. This season is Manchester United. A very interesting team to study with a young manager who has shown a high level of tactical sagacity. Forgive my grammar.
All good.
Fantastic team, fantastic manager, showing everything German, meticulous, organized, astute. And that is the kind of, spirit they showed last night. Great performance from RB Leipzig.
Oh, okay. Indeed.
Interesting. I mean, do you think the way Ole set up was the reason Leipzig had a good night?
I think it was more about mentality and not the setup. They played 3 at the back many times, and they've come out well. In the end, formation really don't play football. It's attitude, mentality, and the zeal to get a result. And I think that's what Leipzig showed. They needed a win. They needed it much more than United. United needed a draw, just a draw. Perhaps that was where the problem was. They felt that if Leipzig could beat them 5-1 at home, the worst will get here is a draw, and that was their greatest undoing. Leipzig showed attitude, showed determination, they showed the zeal to win, and they did a fantastic job. And that's why the manager said they deserved the win, and they absolutely, deserved it.
Yeah, that's totally correct. But I kind of disagree because Manchester United, we've seen them this season. A lot of the times they start so slow and they try to come back in the second half. We've seen them win games in the Premier League where they could have lost in the first half. We saw them die against West Ham over the weekend. We saw it against Brighton, Southampton. So I was saying yesterday, if they do the same way against Leipzig, they will be punished. And that's exactly what happened. And of course, the manager is under a bit of pressure now. I don't know if you're one of the analysts pointed out there that sees the progress in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's project, considering now this is the first time they exiting the group stage since 2015. What do you make of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure so far? Do you see progress or it's just retrogression?
It's a very difficult question. I have a soft spot for Ole.
Oh, there
but
you go.
Have to be absolutely honest, you have to be brutally honest. Yes. I think it's a case of motion, no movement. Manchester United is stagnating. It's not progressing. And that is not a good thing. You sacked Jose Mourinho, who kind of was doing a difficult job because United was in absolute tatters when Jose Mourinho took charge. He managed to patch things up. He won the Europa Cup, won the Carabao Cup, and it looked like hey, we're on the way back to the glory days. And then he was sacked, and Ole came on board. You know, he took over a sinking ship, and till date, he's not been able to get that ship above water. That is, I think that's my verdict. It's been a disaster, but you have to cut him some slack. United is in a very difficult state, and you need a manager bigger, more, braver than Ole to turn the ship.
More tactically astute than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Who is going to be bigger than Jose Mourinho? Because Jose couldn't handle it. He left. So it's going to be bigger.
Jose,
you know what?
Jose is in the past now, so they need to move on to the future.
That's what I'm saying. Who will be bigger that will come on?
It doesn't have to be bigger than Jose. It could be bigger than...
He said he need a bigger manager.
Bigger than Ole. There's so many managers bigger than Ole out there. There's Allegri, there's Pochettino, there's so many managers. Yeah. Anyways, let's leave that game. It's over. PSG advanced as well as Leipzig. Let's go to the PSG Istanbul game. Very unfortunate incident happened in that one where both teams had to leave the field because of what was allegedly said by the fourth official. Omar, it's a shame that we're having this conversation instead of talking about what could have perhaps been a very, very exciting football match.
Yes, it's a shame. It's a very big shame, especially at this level of football. But again, racism is a very complex, very controversial, and very complicated topic. When you discuss racism, you've got to be extremely careful. Because after that incident, I've seen comments, opinions from all over the world. Of course, divergent opinions. Yes, and I've been doing my research, and it's quite interesting. But again, there are two sides to it, like every other issue. One, some persons say that the fourth assistant wasn't racist, but stupid. However, people need to understand that racism and ignorance are not mutually exclusive. That you are ignorant doesn't make you less racist. And then I also let people know that racism is not about the intent, but the effect. That you drove a car, if you drove a car recklessly and you dent another person's car, that you didn't intend to dent the car doesn't make the car less damaged. Exactly. So the effect is what racism is, not the intent. So at that level, a fourth official should understand and know the kind of language he uses. Because I've been asking people, my brother's wife is from Romania, and I've asked her, what is the meaning of the term, the word he used?
Yeah, NEGRU. Yeah.
Exactly. And she says that in Romanian culture, it is not offensive to use that to describe. It's like saying black. So when you see a black man in the midst of white people, you say the black guy. That is not offensive. But in this part of the world where we were yesterday, it is offensive. And in that level, you need to know the kind of words you use. So I think that's where the problem is. For the fourth assistant referee, it was a case of ignorance. But again, ignorance is not an excuse like we say all the time. So it's a big shame, and such level of behaviors is not expected at the highest level of European football.
It simply means UEFA needs to do a whole lot in educating their officials and all that, because you can't say because it's acceptable in your own country, then you can say it anywhere you are. As someone who represents a particular system, whatever you do affects every other person. And something I've noticed is that it's like the football administrators have actually left this issue of racism in the hands of the players. Now, there's actually no, if you check, I was trying to go through what the rule book says concerning this. There's really no specific things. Fine, players can walk off the pitch. What happens after that?
Exactly. Like you said, I think that UEFA hasn't been very specific about the punishment, when people are found wanting as far as racism is concerned. There's so much ambiguity around it. Even players are not even sure what to do. That's why you see they are taking responsibilities in their own hands. And I like what PSG players did yesterday, coming in solidarity of Pierre-Achille Webo and of course Dembaba. I think that generally UEFA needs to stamp its foot on the ground and say this is the punishment for racism, so that we can be clear about how to eradicate this cancer out of football. The world is in a very difficult scene right now. Between Black Lives Matter protests, and in the height of this, the fourth official is using such, derogatory language to describe an assistant coach. It is absolutely unacceptable, and it's a shame, and there's no excuse whatsoever, for such a behavior. Ignorance, again, is not an excuse.
Definitely is not. Omar, we'll just have to keep you, but we'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the game between Barcelona and Juventus. What went down? It was the Ronaldo's show. Omar Katugba is still with us. Now I want to talk about Barcelona. We know how close to your heart Barcelona actually is. And of course, last night, sorry about what happened last night. Messi, he tried his best. But when you have Cristiano Ronaldo, he has been hungry, to really play against Barcelona since 2018. And he got a chance. And of course, he delivered on the night. While Messi was more like, he wasn't a passenger. He had like about 11 shots, maybe 8 on target and all that. But all other players did not come to the party. And of course, Juventus had to get all 3 points and all 3 goals. And of course, they ended up topping the group. Okay, Omar, I really can't hear you. I don't know if you can unmute yourself or something. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think there was a mistake. Now, can you hear me?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, it was a very bad night for Barcelona, but I think without sounding biased, that it was more a Messi show than a Ronaldo show. Okay. Everything Barca did, every shot on target from Barcelona came off the boot of Lionel Messi. I think that Buffon had a fantastic night, always determined against Messi. And, generally, Messi upped his game last night. I was impressed by what I saw Messi do against a huge team like Juventus. But as a team, Barcelona was atrocious. The first 30 minutes, they lost the game. It was a case of not wanting to lose rather than wanting to win. Yeah. And that was when Juventus, pounced. The first 30 minutes, Juventus won the game, and they deserved it. They played beautiful football. They played with intention. They were compact. They were courageous. And they knew what they wanted. First goal, penalty, Ronaldo, of course, he hardly misses them. And, of course, the second goal was an absolute beauty from the young American who I interviewed 2 years ago when he was in Schalke. He told me about his development in Germany. And we can see how he has progressed further. So I think generally it was a fantastic win for Juve, who had to wait till the last day to top the group in such a beautiful fashion at a magnificent stadium against a very powerful team like Barca. Yeah. And like Ronaldo said after the game, it's always beautiful to score against Barcelona, to win at this stadium, because this is a very fantastic team. And I think that's very gracious from him. I also like what he said about Messi, about their rivalry, about how he has so much respect for the Argentine.
Of course.
But generally, there's so much to work on as far as Barcelona is concerned. You look at this team and you're so worried. Some person say on Twitter, it's just vibes and inshallah. So it's just Messi and inshallah. But
that's more like it. All right, Barcelona can take consolation in the fact that they actually threw to the round of 16. Let's go, still staying in Spain. Let's go to Madrid this time. What a group we have on our hands. Group B, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Shakhtar, Borussia Mönchengladbach. All these teams still have a chance of qualifying for the round of 16 today. But in Madrid, it's going to be Madrid taking on Mönchengladbach and Inter hosting Shakhtar Donetsk in Milan. Quickly, how do you see these ones panning out, considering how Madrid have been floundering in La Liga, and then talk about Inter Milan as well?
It's a very interesting group because it's a group that consists of 4 very inconsistent teams. Real Madrid, who are heavyweights, in the Champions League, have been absolutely atrocious this season, losing to Shakhtar Donetsk at home, going to Germany, having to
home and away, as a matter of fact,
against Gladbach. And of course, Inter Milan, they have been like a yo-yo. When you expect them to win, they will lose. When you expect them to lose, they will win. Surprisingly, they went to Germany to beat Gladbach in their last game, and that makes this group all the more dramatic. And like you said, like we all know, it's going to go down the wire, and it's a very difficult group to predict. Even Shakhtar, nobody gave them a chance before the tournament started, and here they have a big chance of qualifying. But hey, I think it will be extremely difficult to qualify at the expense of Inter Milan. But this Inter Milan team has also been laughable. Antonio Conte looks very clueless, and of course, it's absolutely open. I feel that a shocker is before us tonight. I feel that Real Madrid might, against all expectation, playing Europa League this season. They've been very, very good, and they surprised themselves. To be honest, I don't think they expected to be in very good position at this time in the tournament, because Gladbach never one of the biggest teams from Germany, especially in the Champions League. And here they are competing against Inter and Real Madrid. Their confidence is very high now. So they go to Madrid knowing fully that Cadiz could beat these guys. Shakhtar Donetsk could beat these guys. I think that we can beat them. Even with the way they played against us in Germany, we can beat them here. And that's the kind of confidence they come with. I see Gladbach going ahead of Real Madrid. And another interesting night awaits us in the Champions League.
You can say that again, Omar Akatuba. Many thanks for joining us on the show. Enjoy the rest of your day.
A pleasure. Thank you very much. I wish you the same.
All right, so UEFA Champions League, that's it for you. We'll come back tomorrow to give you all the updates. Before we look at the papers, Cecilia, a couple of tweets let's just try and take before we see the papers. I have one here from, where is this? Is it lost? Trying to refresh now.
Okay.
All right, MD Special. You're saying, I want to believe you're a Manchester United fan. You're saying, as I said yesterday, I was skeptical because the last time United clashed out of the UCL in the group stage was against Wolfsburg of Germany. And you don't always come back from behind to win matches. I hope United have learned their lessons. I'm not very sure about that.
Okay, we'll watch. Keep our fingers crossed and wait. Noble Flyer Man says, at this point, I concur that Ole can take us to the promised land. Heartbreak for us in Germany. I'm calling for his head, same as Pogba. Ole out, Pogba out. However, United forever, and congratulations to Cristiano Ronaldo doing it at almost 36.
Stay loyal, man. Stay loyal. Jonathan, your tweet quickly. Good morning. Yeah, good morning to you as well. I feel pity for United, but it's too late when the head is off. Watch out for Chelsea.
Okay. Gian Philip says, going forward, I think there has to be crucial changes at United, starting from the board, the coach, and some playing personnel. The board over time has shown inept attitude in the area of transfers, and the coach tactically is nowhere.
All right, Dr. Kenneth, we got your message as well too. We'll take it tomorrow on the show. Let's quickly look at the papers. Sporting Life. A lot of stories are surrounding the UEFA Champions League. Jamie Carragher is also in the news, says United need to get rid of Pogba as soon as possible. Salah, Ronaldo, Messi nominated for Player of the Century. Interesting. Mbappe snubs Madrid for lucrative PSG deal.
More money, that's what it's all about. Madrid right now is not a team to go to. Complete Sports is next. Onuachu and Chukwueze makes Team of the Week. No, Onuachu and Eze, not the Chukwueze, makes Team of the Week in Belgium and England. Amunike, I'm good enough to be Eagles head coach, not assistant. Okay, I wanted to take Osimhen to KPR in 2015. That's a Di Mario. That's talking about an international agents. That's what they had to say concerning that. Okay, the last one this morning is Sporting Sun. And Sporting Sun, of course, Globe Soccer Awards, Ronaldo, Messi, and Lewandowski, Mo Salah, all of them are topping the list right there. And, of course, you have the story of Balotelli joining Italian second-tier division. Okay, that's what we got this morning. All right, Business Money is up next, so we have to go. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
I am Tayo Salam. Enjoy the rest of your day.